As COVID-19 cases across Ontario surge, Ottawa will join in on a province-wide shutdown, which will come into effect on Boxing Day.
I'm announcing today that Ontario will enter a province-wide shutdown, starting at 12:01 a.m. on December 26. This difficult action is without a doubt necessary to save lives and prevent our hospitals from being overwhelmed in the coming weeks.
All non-essential businesses will be forced to close for 28 days in southern Ontario and 14 days in northern Ontario. The lockdown aligns with what we saw in the spring when the first round of shutdowns began. Hair salons and gyms will be closed, with retailers being forced to operate only with curbside pickup and delivery. All indoor dining can also not take place, with only delivery and takeout services available.
This province-wide shutdown, it's a temporary but one-time measure in response to the exceptional circumstances we're facing. We're asking all Ontarians to stay at home and only leave when absolutely necessary, such as work, groceries, prescriptions, or medical appointments. Essential businesses such as grocery stores and pharmacies will remain open at reduced capacity.
The winter break for school-aged children will also be extended, with elementary and middle schools being closed until January 11th. High schools will reopen on January 25th, with remote learning happening until then.
I want to be clear, schools are not part of the problem of COVID in our communities, but out of an abundance of caution, school closures over the winter break will be extended. Asking students and staff to stay home a little longer will help ensure we do what's needed to control the spread.
Anger and frustration is now growing in Ottawa, where COVID-19 cases remain steady. Hospitalizations are down and the curve is bending. There has been no one in Ottawa intensive care units for over 3 days, and the positivity rate in the city is only at 1.4%. Still, Premier Doug Ford says the lockdowns are needed to ensure COVID-19 infections don't climb in the city over the holiday period.
I understand why they're angry. They worked very hard. Their numbers were very high at one point. They worked very hard, all the people in the Ottawa region. But we've seen it before. When we open up and Quebec closes down, guess what happens? We have the Quebecers. Nothing against Quebecers. I love the Quebecers, but they'll come over in droves. Numbers will be driven back up.
So Ottawa residents will be confined to their homes for another 28 days. But there is a sign of hope that lockdown restrictions in the city could be lifted sooner, saying trends head in the right direction. Premier Ford says health officials will be going back to the table sometime in early January to see if certain parts of the province can either have restrictions lifted or if they will have to be extended. It will really depend on all of our collective efforts over the holiday season. Charlie Cenac, UIN News, Ottawa.